Hey guys, this is the official tutorial finally for the F-18, F-16, and the F-14B in the RIO slot. We're going to walk through how to use the automatic DCS Waypoint entering program. So I already made a video on the installation, so once you have it installed and up and running, here's what we will go and do for the 18. So please mind the, the very cringy swap over here. This is actually just from Streamlabs, so I got all my streaming stuff set up, but it's the easiest way for me to swap between these windows. So now that we're on our main menu here, we are going to start up the F-18C Hornet. So we're going to hit option 1, enter, and we're going to wait for it to say ready. Sometimes it can kind of get a little hung up here. If that happens, just try hitting enter and see if that ready mark pops up there. So now that's done, let's go back to our plane. From here, we can hit F10 and find somewhere that we want to plop down a waypoint. Currently, we're just on the Fallen Angel server, so most of these are already inputted, but let's say, for example, we want to go to Batumi. This is an airport that we do not have a waypoint to set pre-done in the plane. So I'm going to hover my mouse over Batumi or wherever I want the waypoint, and what it's going to do is it's going to grab a screenshot of your screen. And it's going to work for all of this up here. So that waypoint data needs to be not obstructed by SRS or chat or anything else that might be up here. Make sure this is absolutely clear. So we're going to move our mouse down and we're going to hit the left bracket key on our keyboard. From there you'll hear a beep, meaning the program is ready and listening. So now that we have our mouse over the point we want, we can hit spacebar and we're going to hear two beeps. The first one is going to symbolize that it's taking a screenshot. The second one will symbolize that it's done taking a screenshot, so it'll be pretty rapid. Now we can head back to our cockpit and wait. And we're going to be waiting for the two beeps signifying that it's done recognizing the... Oh, there it was. Done recognizing all the characters and it's ready to input. So for the 18, it's a little particular on how this has to be done just because of how the program works. We need to open up the HSI page on the right screen. From here, we're going to go to Data. Select whatever waypoint we want to overwrite. For me, I'm going to go to the next blank one, which seems to be waypoint 10. And do not hit UFC. If UFC is marked, you'll notice that sometimes position or one of these will already be marked with a the colon there. If that happens, just hit UFC again to where this is unmarked. The program itself will actually hit this key. So if it's already hit, then it's going to mess up the programming of it. So once we're here and we have the waypoint set up, all we got to do is hit spacebar. Don't touch any keybinds at this point while it's entering. And there it was. It's all done. So it has the north, east, the elevation. Now if we go back to HSI, box in waypoint, we can see it's 277.2 miles away. Now to verify that, we'll just do kind of a quick measure tool here. Go to measure, grab from an APA down to here. Whoop, Batumi, there we go. 277, bam. It's about as good as I can do on the mouse, but that kind of shows that it works for you. So next, let's hop into an F-16 and do the exact same process. And once the program runs for the first time after launch, it will run a lot faster on subsequent waypoints. And I'll kind of show that here on the 16 as well. Unfortunately, I don't have an easy way for you to be able to swap aircraft as well, so you will need to close out of the program each time and relaunch it each time you want to swap into a new aircraft. So we're going to do that real quick. I'm going to go back to the recording program, and you can see a log here of everything that it was pushing. And let's actually run through this real quick. It'll make a lot more sense. That way you wonder like why the program isn't working. This is a good way to debug it. It's not perfect 100% of the time, but it works like 95% of the time. So these are the chords that the program actually found from the top of your screen. This is it breaking it out into a simple list of characters, and then it's going to start running through the entire program. It'll recognize if a character is not a number, and it'll skip, otherwise it'll press everything else. Once we get down to the end, it will print finished, and it will also print back out that exact same thing of what it read. So if it read it wrong, which it could possibly do, that would just mean that the entry was bad, and you just rerun it real quick, takes 2 seconds, and then it should work the next time around. It tends to not like oceans very much because of the negative feet. However, It's not too big of a deal. Usually the north and east coordinates will still be correct. It's just the feet. It doesn't know how to put negative feet into a waypoint. It only puts in, you know, a solid number. So if it's 240 feet below sea level, it's just going to mark it as 240 feet. So from here, I'm going to close this out, and we're going to relaunch it. Now we're going to go to the Viper, wait for it to say ready, and then head back to game. For the Viper, it's a bit different. So on here, we're going to hit steer point. And then right here, we're going to cycle up to whatever steer point we want to change. For me, it's probably going to be, let's do steer point 9 because that's blank. Then same thing as the last time. We're going to hit the left bracket key to start the program. Go to F10. Let's say Batumi again. Put our cursor over the mark where we want to grab the screenshot from. Hit spacebar. Now we can go back to our cockpit and wait for the confirmation. There it was. Now we can hit spacebar again. It will start auto-entering everything in. There we go, and it even cycled back up to the steer point, so that way you can just hit the next one like that. Let's say 10, start the program again, left bracket key, go to F10, let's say somewhere around here at Sanaki. Spacebar, go back to the cockpit. Oh, and there it was right then. So that's kind of what I was saying, where all the subsequent waypoints will actually render a lot faster, and we'll start inputting a lot faster, so that way you're not waiting 5 seconds in between each. It's only on the first one after you relaunch the program. So we'll hit the spacebar to let it start entering. And there's our next waypoint in. So with the Viper, it's a little different only because you have to add the zeros onto the end here for the standard waypoint layout here on the top. Do not change this from the default, otherwise the program won't be able to read the characters correctly and will not work. It purposely adds in the zeros on the end, which makes it a little less accurate for this plane, but it's close enough to where you can kind of get to where you're going. Unfortunately, I'd have to rewrite the program in its entirety just to match the 16's capabilities of putting in the seconds there on the waypoint, so that's why it's not done. Next up, let's go to a F-14. Alright, so let's reboot the program so we can go into the F-14. Gonna select the RIO slot. Head back to game. I got a buddy of mine, Florida man over here, gonna be a pilot for me. This tends to make it a lot easier than having to deal with a AI pilot. Alright. So for this, going to replicate the exact same thing we've been doing in all the other planes. We're going to hit the bracket key, go to F10, find a point we want to mark. Let's say Krasnodar. Hit spacebar, back to the cockpit, wait for the confirmation, and there it is. So for this, you'll notice here on the top of the screen, it will start entering in the waypoints here in just a minute, or the coordinates, sorry. And with this program as well, it will automatically change the category to TAC data and overwrite waypoint 1. There's no way to overwrite the second or third waypoint, so you're only going to be able to do one at a time with this. So let's go ahead and hit spacebar, and we'll watch it fully enter in. Let me get a good camera angle here. There we go. And there it is. And now if we look over for our waypoint, we have it all entered in. Now let's go for a second run. And you can have this wherever you want. It can be even on target data and marking something as a friend. It doesn't matter. We'll come down, we'll run one more time. Left bracket key, go to F10. Let's go to make up here. Spacebar, and then back to the cockpit. Spacebar again. And there it goes, entering in that waypoint. Perfect. Looks like it gained an extra digit there on the altitude, but it shouldn't be too much of a worry. The 14 likes to be a little buggier than the rest, only because of sometimes the keypad here is a little slow to update in the game. It kind of just depends on your latency to the server, but it is considerably slowed down to try and minimize that kind of error, so should be good from there. And with that pretty much wraps up the current 3 aircraft. The A-10C2 will be coming soon, and when that does, the price will actually be jumping up about $5. So currently it's at $10 for the early release, and that's going to help us get our website properly set up for being able to purchase licenses. That way you don't have to just PayPal me. And after that as well, we will start increasing the price by $5 for every plane that's released. That being said, once you purchase a license, it is permanently yours. It's a forever key, and every aircraft that we release after that, you will actually get for free. So if you buy the $10 license now and we release 10 more aircraft, you'll never have to pay another dime. Whereas once the A-10 releases, the price is going to go from $10 to $15. Once we get the next plane after that, it'll go to $20, and so on and so forth. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's kind of a nice little early adoption fee, and that will help us get a lot of things set up on our back end. These aircraft did take about 7 to 8 hours a piece to program in correctly like this, so it is a major help by purchasing the keys. One last little note, this will not work in VR, only because of the nature of the program. Like I said in the beginning, it takes a screenshot of the map stuff up here on the top left. It's looking for that identical section there, and I can show you a picture on screen right now. And that was the picture of the coordinates that the plane actually grabbed on the last screenshot. So it only screenshots that small portion. In VR, unfortunately, there's no way to accurately always take a pixel for pixel screenshot. Therefore, it's not going to be working. So this is only for flat screen use only. Like if you use Track IR or just, normal, then it'll work just fine. So if you have any questions or you need support or something's going wrong, feel free to hit us up in our Discord. It's discord.gg/fallen-angels. And there will be a support channel down there where you can create a ticket and get a hold of me directly. And we can do some screen sharing or talk over the comms, or I can just type to you what the problem is and help you get it fixed. So that's going to be it for now. Thanks, guys, for coming along.